So I think this is pretty much everybody. It's almost like a one-on-one presentation. I can stay next to you. That actually, unfortunately, reflects also the size and the interest for the market. Quite an interesting market, but quite small, I would say. Just a few words about Think Digital. For those of you who don't know, Think Digital is an ad network in the region, one of the biggest in Southeastern Europe. So basically, we started by representing the .com properties, and then locally start to work with local sites like from Greece, from Romania, and so on. In terms of reach, in all the countries that we currently operate, which is Romania, Greece, just started this year in Bulgaria as well, Cyprus and Moldova, we reach around 9 million users. So let's start from the overall view. I have to tell you that despite being a market which is very within our, let's say, reach of influence, we don't have accurate numbers for Moldova. So some of the statistics, you will see that they can show some misleading numbers or they don't correspond. So you have to take all these numbers just as a range and just go around it. So if you see something that you believe it's not right or is not true, that's possible because of the source of the stats. So currently there are around 4.3 million people in Moldova. The internet penetration is estimated at 1.29, which is leading us to something like 30%. Just a question, is anybody from here, from Moldova? Just okay. Well, the specifics of Moldova is, first of all, is that it used to be part of, historically, of Romania. So that it was given to Russia a while ago. So that's why actually it's a country where from a, let's say, origins point of view, it's something like half of the people they speak Romanian and then half of the people they speak Russian. So you have, let's say, both influences, and you would say that you would see some trends which are coming from Romania and some trends coming from Russia. In terms of internet penetration, the number is actually close to what is the internet penetration in Romania. So there's a lot of people surfing the internet. You have the evolution, as you can see, has been growing a lot since 2007, actually 2006. So I think currently 30% is quite a good number. Now, another interesting thing, which is probably it's common for the region, is the fact that according to one recent stat, when listing the connection speed in the world, Romania is proud to be, let's say, it's one of the few, let's say, achievements. It's somewhat like number 4 in terms of the speed of the internet. So the speed of the internet and the number of people who have access to broadband, it's number 4 in the world. I've been talking to people and they were asking, okay, but how is this possible? I mean, from an economic point of view, Romania is well behind, and from online business actually. And if we look at the numbers compared to Bulgaria, you would see that even in terms of online spending, last year we had less spending on online, on digital than Bulgaria, despite there's a difference in the population. So, and I would say the reason is mostly related, and so this is a good thing, is related to the piracy. Due to the high level of piracy, a lot of people obviously they download music and movies, so they need high connection speed. The same goes for Moldova. You can see that the numbers of broadband subscriptions is quite amazing. For those who are interested into let's say the more details of the type of connection, most of them it's either DSL or ADSL, and some optical wire, FTTB and LAN. wireless is not so grown up yet, and cable has stayed behind. The ISPs by category, Mol Telecom, as you can see, they reach, in theory, speeds of up to 100 megabits per second. Another thing is, and I'm not sure that this is real, obviously not all the cases, but the upload speed, you would see that supposedly at least it's quite big, which is not happening for all of the providers, because normally you get a big download speed and not so big upload speed. To start from a media overview, in terms of press, this is the list of newspapers and magazines which is mostly popular. Again, you will notice that almost half of them, or I mean, we follow the same percentage. They are in Moldovan. Moldovan language is just actually, let's say, 99% similar to Romanian, with a bit of a different accent. And of course, the Russian. And actually, Moldova is a country which is also, in terms of politics, it's driven by this, let's say, duality between Romanian and Russian. We have two big televisions. One is Moldova 1. The other one is Pro TV Chisinau. This is the arm of the Romanian Pro TV. Pro TV is currently and has expanded into CME, and I would say this is currently one of the biggest media holdings in Southeast Europe. Radio, you have Radio Moldova, Antena C, and Vocea Basarabiei. Kiss FM and Pro FM are again Romanian brands exported into Moldova and localized. You got the news agency, obviously. In terms of the relationship of print and online, things here are a bit different in the sense that in Moldova the impact of the print is quite low. If you ask me why, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but the stats say that in the last 3 months only 34% were reading the newspapers. You will see, maybe you'll ask what other people are doing. Obviously, they are on the portals. So Unimedia and Știrea Zilei, News of the Day, are very popular. Some politics, which is Politic MD, OMG MD, and Hot News MD. Hot News MD is again the extension of the Hot News, Romanian Hot News. Blogs are not yet a representative number of, in terms of number of bloggers, but they tend to be quite big in terms of influencers. So the people, especially the young generation, they read a lot the blogs. Most visited websites in Moldova, and we are citing here two sources. One is Metrica MD, which is a local solution for measuring the audience. You'll see, obviously, emusic.md is the leading category. And I have to tell you that I haven't seen, let's say, elsewhere this so much discrepancy. So obviously, the music and the download of the content is ranking. That's also because actually Moldova is quite well doing with the music producing. So there's a lot of songs like Ozon or Dan Balan, composers, who maybe you've already heard and listened to, and probably you don't even know that they are from Moldova, but they're quite successful, and that's on a global level. So I think that's an interesting trend to watch, because this is actually proving the focus on entertainment, and less on the, let's say, information and portals. Now we got some social networks as well in there, which is Faces MD, and we'll see some numbers later on. So the definite leader is eMusic with over 1 million users, and then far behind, up to maximum 400, is the rest of them. Well, in terms of the visitors, and actually when we say here visitors is the visits, so you have to understand it not in the uniques, but in terms of number of visits. In terms of the page views generated, still Faces MD, which is the social networking, is the leader in the category, with something close to 20 million impressions. Now, if we look back to Alexa.com, which is accounting for the international traffic, we've got several Googles in there. It's the Google.com. It's the Google, the Moldavian version. And then we've got some websites which are, let's say, purely Russian origin, which is Mail.ru and Odnoklassky and Yandex. And I think that one of the last presentations today is from Yandex, so I think that will be interesting to watch as well, what they do in Russia. We got Yahoo here, and obviously there is Google. Now, in terms of the .com websites, again, we see here the influence of the in between Romania and Russia, and just because we are actually selling Microsoft advertising products, and despite that Yahoo is quite big in the world, I have to tell you that Microsoft is having a unique situation where just in Romania and Russia, they are not, let's say, at least at the half of the market share in terms of the mail product and the messenger product. So elsewhere, normally they go around 40, 50%, even up to 70%. In Romania and Russia, Romania, the main competitor is Yahoo, and you can see also Messenger and Microsoft is not here. And in Russia, obviously, is Yandex in terms of the search, it's Mail.ru in terms of the mail provider. And Moldova is not falling apart from this. It's just being at the crossroads from Russian influence and Romanian one. Again, I try to present you some numbers. Why it's still interested, because on some recent research, Moldova is shown to be having as one of the fastest growing ad markets. So despite being a relatively small market, the growth rate of the ad spend is something like 90%, which means that, of course, it's following close to Russia. Now, we don't have exact numbers for these years, and again, you have to treat this with cautiousness. What we have in terms of Moldova, we believe that the actual spending was a forecasted one. So we believe that currently is going around 35 to 40 million dollars. But that's, again, that has to be treated with caution. And in terms of digital spending, all the time we benchmark it with Romania. Then in terms of the digital spending, we have reached something like 3 to 4% out of the total advertising spend. In case of Moldova, we estimate that this is around 1%, maximum 1.5% of this. So I would say that to be optimistic, the spend would range between, let's say, 300K to 500K maximum in Moldova. There is some let's say, drawbacks from the agencies mostly, which is, let's say, despite the growth audience, they are not too much favoring the online spend. So I would say that they prefer to stay rather conservative. In terms of the social networks, because after the entertainment and downloading the music, that seems to be one of the most popular activities. So the social networking has been driven also internet usage. 88% from the online users, they have account on Odnoklassky. Facebook, it's quite, obviously it's a latecomer, but it's growing fast, as Facebook is doing everywhere. but at the time only 19% of the users they had an account. If you look at the penetration in terms of online population, that gives you roughly at 9%, which you compare to Ornoklasky, that's really small. But I think Facebook, at least in Moldova, because of the let's say, will have a much bigger chance to grow than in Russia because of the Romanian language as well. V Conacte from Russia, again, it's one of the first challengers for Facebook. Quite young audience from this point of view. Neogen, it's the Moldovan arm of Neogen Romania. They report over 350 users. What is important here that almost half of them they report to be university graduate, but again the age is you will see that the average age is not really matching this. I mean you can hardly be a university graduate in 20 years. So again, since this is not benchmarked with any research, I would treat this like very cautious in terms of what the users actually report. Another interesting thing is that most of the users are concentrated, and this is because how the population is distributed. They are focused in Chișinău, in the capital city. Faces. Now it's coming after Ornoklasky. It's 27%. 5.5 million visits, and quite a lot of number of page views. So let's say this is something that is trying to get close to the Facebook model, but it's not really the case. If you look at the time spent on site, this is I should have highlighted like 25 minutes per visit. The average time spent on YouTube, for example, is around 60 seconds. So even if there's a lot of videos and long ones, the average time that the user spend is not so much. So I think that's one of the key things. One of the last slide of the presentations, the ad networks operating in the area is ClickIt. I think it's Mr. Gurău, who's quite active and is, let's say, one of the biggest networks in the moment. He's all the time complaining about let's say, the lack of interest from and we feel it as well from the media agencies. But he actually managed to get together a lot of inventory and to sell it and to really push it. Think Digital, Ads.md, and AdPixel. Well, that would be roughly it. If you have any questions, I hope you don't ask questions about too many numbers, because I don't have reliable sources. IAB is not there. So as far as our Romanian contacts in IAB, we don't have any sources or any audit for the data. So it's a bit of a market which is in the early stages. It's growing, so we're interested into this. And more important, I would say, for any company which is planning to kind of test the Russian market, but start on a smaller scale, I think that's a good point to start and just see what are the challenges. Have any questions so far?
What are the main search engines?
Well, just let me reverse back. Maybe you missed it. So it's obviously that's the sites reported by Alexa, but Google.com and Google MD is coming in front of Yandex. So that's mostly we estimated that because that's mostly like in Europe, but in Romania, 99.9% of the search is Google. So it's even Yahoo search and Bing is having a very low percentage. So Yandex is big in Russia, but Google is let's say the leader in Romania. So the main one will be if you look at the sites aggregated, and Google.Russia it's coming on the 10th position. But if you actually aggregate all of this, Google is the main search engine. We don't have, unfortunately, and Google is not reporting neither the numbers for search, not in Romania and not in Moldova as well. So that's one of the things that are missing for the markets, because every time the IAB we're estimating the ad spend, we don't account for the search. So the search can only be very, very generically estimated. They don't report it, but I would say that it keeps the same percentage, so versus display.
Are there any big online retailers? How is the e-commerce?
Unfortunately, I cannot answer you this question because we have no information on the e-commerce. We've seen this, and there was my colleague from Greece yesterday had a presentation on the Greek market. There was a similar question in terms of the e-retailers. Now, the funny thing is that Greece is a very advanced market, and they don't have information on this. We do have the information in Romania, though, and it's very detailed and very deeply going vertical. And that's mostly due to the fact that in terms of online payments processing, we got two big providers, which are credit cards processors for the online payment. So actually, the majority of the transactions are concentrated in two players, while in other markets, it's very common that the bank is doing itself the online payments processing, like Greece and the mature markets. So we do have the numbers for Romania, but I think that was my colleague Yunus from IAB who presented it. We don't have absolutely no numbers for Moldova, unfortunately.
Are there any major players, retailers, I mean, not processors, but retailers like big auction sites?
Not on the list. I mean, auctioning, yeah, there are a couple of them, but at least on our list of clients, they are not active. I won't be able to mention this, and they have not been in our target. So I'm sorry, I cannot. I don't have this information. Okay. Okay. Then thank you very much, and wish you. Thank you very much for coming, for attending. It's a small market, but as I said, if you're trying to go to Russia, just do this, and also watch the presentation from Yandex. I think it's the last on the schedule, so I think it's going to be quite interesting. Thank you.